All right, so good morning, everyone. How are you today? Great. When I woke up this morning, I couldn't imagine myself standing here one day as I recalled a story of myself in the second semester at university. I ran out of the class in the middle of my presentation and burst into tears with great disappointment and shame. But don't worry, I will do it today. I promise. I failed to finish my talk in the past not because of poor preparation. It was because I put the pressure on myself to perform as well as my classmate did. With such expectation of carrying out an impressive speech, when I started to forget the script, I panicked with the thought that I would ruin everything and everyone who laughed at me. Today, in this TEDx event, I don't hold the pressure to perform as well as other speakers. I'm standing here today with all of my gratitude and focus to share with you my stories. So now, welcome to my journey of how I deal with my peer pressure so that I can live my life to the fullest. I believe that everyone at any age or from any place has at least once faced peer pressure. In my case, peer pressure is infectious. Like many Asian parents, my parents faced peer pressure of having a high-achieving child, so that they expected me to perform or behave as well as their friends' children. Gradually, it turned into my peer pressure when I expected myself to catch up with or even become better than my peers. And like many Asian children, I was sent to different classes before primary school. Because of my hard work, when I came to primary school, I performed quite well, got noticed, were put in the training team for any local contests or competitions. All I knew at that time was I needed to perform well so that I could make my parents proud. My secondary school years were extra classes, assignments, rankings, because my parents expected me to pass the entrance exam to my city high school for gifted students. My mom told me that the competition to gain a slot at a high school, especially a gifted high school, was not just for students, but also for parents' pride. And of course, at that time, I remember my feeling of feeling disappointed and guilty whenever I got low scores compared to my peers. And I did try hard and pass the entrance exam. After that, I became a so-called desirable child. Con nhà người ta. Yeah, I became a desirable child in many of my parents' friends' stories. I received compliments such as, "I wish my children could be like you or half of you." Since then, the pressure of maintaining excellent performance would not just from my surrounding people, from my parents, but also from myself. I formed the expectations not to make any mistakes, gain high scores, and gain a high ranking. To the end of my school years, I was always in the top 3 in my class. But things were much different when I got into my dream university, University of Languages and International Studies. I passed the qualification test to the honors program, seated with 21 talented students. They were gifted students from many parts of Vietnam with different talents and achievements. And starting in this class, I was not a high-achieving student anymore. Instead, I was in the top from the bottom. I lived with such peer pressure and the fear of being left behind that I couldn't relax. I remember myself feeling so guilty, so disappointed and nervous whenever I couldn't understand a complicated listening tape or mispronounce any words or fail to answer any questions. until the event of myself running out of the class in the third semester, did I have a moment of change. Knowing that I scored the lowest in the class, I went home with great disappointment, and I didn't really want to talk with anyone at that time. I kept my mind wandering with negative feelings by asking questions. How will my friends see me after that presentation? How will I face them? What should I do to maintain my score at the end of the semester? And I took all of my courage. 2 days later, came to my class and asked my friends. It turned out that all they felt at that time was they were worried about me. So it was just me who was overthinking and didn't see the word as it was. And I spent my break listening to their behind stories. And I gained one big realization of my life at that time. Behind the story of success or behind the success of anyone, there are always struggles, efforts, or even failures which haven't been told. It was unfair to treat myself as I had compared the wrong moments of my timeline to theirs, because we may face the same problems, but just in a different period. So I decided to stop comparing. Some days later, I came to seek advice on how to improve myself from my teacher after class. She was the head of the honors program and was the inspiration of many students for her experience, wisdom, mindfulness, and empathy. And her advice changed my life forever. And she told me that you don't need to prove yourself to be the best one. Finding out what you are good at, focusing on improving your weaknesses, then you can shine in your own way. That was the moment I realized that I had missed out one simple but important phrase in my life: focus on myself. I spent all of my student years caring about how my peers performed and how to maintain my scores without knowing myself much. So I decided to start my journey of self-focus by the way I came to this world, by the way I came to this life as an infant, asking questions. There could be any questions. They were from seemingly abstract ones, such as, why did the universe send me to this earth? To rule the world or to do something else? To more specific ones, such as, am I good at cooking? Or why did I fail in the job interview? Whatever they were, they all helped me understand my strengths and weaknesses, to see my inner desire or pain. And by focusing on myself, I had less time for self-pity and had more time to search for or create my own opportunities to develop my strong points and improve my weak ones. So, for example, my voice was quite weak and could easily go trembling. So I practiced singing and rapping so that I could strengthen my voice column. Because my communication skills were limited, I learned to improve them by becoming a member of Department of Public Relations of my faculty, Student Council, and Youth Union. So the key point here is taking actions. You dare to think and you dare to take actions. And also, this is important, I turned peer pressure into peer motivation, because I knew that if my friend scored higher than me or successfully got accepted to a position at a club or an organization, there could be something good that I can learn from them. So I came to seek their advice and learn from them. To the end of my university years, when I graduated, I was not the best performer. But I have gone further than I thought I would be. One of which is having a valuable chance standing here sharing with you my stories. See? So, and my happiness is not, I feel happier than ever before. And my happiness is not from how well I performed compared to my peers. It is my true happiness of self-improvement and self-understanding. So, by focusing on myself, I have gone further than I thought I would be. I'm now able to see my life as a journey, an adventure to explore, a journey to enjoy, and not a competition to race. In a fast-changing and demanding world, peer pressure, I know, is unavoidable. But the way we deal with it, we see it, is actually our personal choice. It is our choice of whether to see it as a pressure or motivation. It is our choice of whether to live with expectations or standards others put on ourselves, we put on ourselves. And whoever we are, a researcher, a parent, a president, or a student, we are all facing some moments of peer pressure or even building peer pressure on someone else. My children don't behave as well as yours. My papers are not highly appreciated as yours. My house is not as big as yours. We are so stressed out that we forget that one simple fact that we came to this world, to this life, to see how beautiful it is, not to race in a competition. So, by focusing on our own progress and enjoying it, I hope that we can live our life to the fullest. And today, I kept my promise not to run away in the middle of my speech, because I treasure every moment standing here and no one can steal it away from me. Whether I did it well or not compared to other speakers, this is still my experience, my lesson that I can learn something from. So I am enjoying this moment of my life. How about you? Are you enjoying the moments of your life? Thank you.